Okay, hey guys, you are back with the crew. Thanks again for being back with me. And this part 4 of the series is going to be my favorite part. I love the comments that I've been getting, the people, the amount of people that are on this journey with me and my son. And we're all a family. I know we call ourselves a crew, but we are a family. We're a group of like-minded people. We aren't what I would consider all on the same team, because that's not really what I really think the world needs right now, is picking teams and sides. I think it needs a little bit of the opposite of that, which is it's okay that you and I have differences. It's okay that you and I don't agree or focus upon the same things and think the same things are important. That's part of humanity. That's part of the fact that you're one of 8 billion, which leads me to you're no better or no different or any worse or than anyone else. And it's hard for people, and I know all of us struggle with, well, it's the elite's fault, and they're confusing me, and they're changing the rules, and they are rule makers, and we have to live by their rules. I don't believe any of that to be significant in the rest of your life if you choose it not to be. Okay? They can make all their rules, but you and I finally have an avenue, and it's called crypto. And you and I can use those ideas and that decentralization and that ability for all of us to create something out of our basement that goes viral that we can all use, and we don't need their permission. Now, again, that has a connotation to it that they have some sort of form of control over us to begin with, which I personally, the longer I spiritually grow on the face of this planet, the more I realize they have less and less control over anything I do or think. It's simply the way they've been able to convince us through the media, through the papers, through manipulation of information and the capture of new technologies and the corruption of them and the way they withhold it from the little guy and make us pay service fees or agreements or fines or regulations. Or a brilliant post a guy put down, and it's terrible, I forgot his name because I didn't write it down and I should have, and you guys post the best stuff. But he said something along the lines of, we gave them $23 trillion, but if you spend $600 on a cash app, they want to know where it went. Like, how comical is that? How can they look us straight in the eye and just print each other? The military got $4.4 trillion. U.S. military got $4.4 trillion above and beyond their $900 billion budget over the last, I think it was 2 years. And they want to know what you spent $600 on. I know, it's absurd. It's just crazy. But remember, this is the beautiful episode 4 that I promised you guys. I have all these negative things I wrote down on here. Really, I do. I write lists. Why? I don't know why. They're reference points more than anything. Why we allow them to control our lives is diminishing. And they understand that. And like I talk all the time, it's a 3-party system at the top. It's not a 2-party U.S. Democrat Republican thing. It's a bigger deal than that. I'm going to get more into that in the future, but I don't want, this is a positive video and I really want to end on a great note, because you and I see through the shenanigans. You and I, to whatever degree you're following this channel or you followed the information that's been put forward in the previous 90 videos, you have found yourself in a position of knowledge that many others wish they had. Many others aren't required to have that information to have a peaceful and beautiful life as well. I want that to be said, because again, we have 8 billion different lives out there. Everybody has to come to their own conclusions about their own coins. I understand that. I understand there's a deep passion for all the Cardano lovers, all the XRP lovers, the XRP army is massive and forceful. Please don't get your blinders on. It is not the only coin out there. It just simply isn't. And nothing ever, one coin succeed, win all, ever. And let's hope that's not the case, because that's the decentralization I'm talking about. I don't want one coin. Even if I owned 1 million of them, I don't want it to be the only coin. Why would you want that? Anyways, the beauty of crypto is the decentralization of the fact that we have numerous forms of currency or money or exchange or barter that we are able to do more than ever, possibly ever before. Maybe back in the history of man, we had 50 to 100 different kinds of seashells that we traded goods, or tulips in the past. I understand. But what I'm saying is we're getting away from centralization, the powers that be manipulating is because you have to have a US dollar, or you have to have a euro, or you have to have a Swiss franc, or whatever. No, we don't. We don't have to have that anymore. Okay? And now they're going to come along and they're going to say, well, you have to have the CBDC. No, see, we don't. The only thing we need are decentralized tokens on a decentralized exchange, and all of our organizations could be run completely autonomously. DAOs, if you know what they are, decentralized autonomous organizations, are all we need to run this planet in a manner to where all mankind lives together, side by side, in prosperity, and a utopian, if you will, way of life that we don't need to focus on our differences. We need to find same. You and I are same. I can't explain that any better than that word. There's no difference between you and I. There simply isn't. There's opinion. I got that. But the love and the spiritual deep, whatever you want to call it, whatever it might be within inside of you. Maybe you worship money. Okay, I'm okay with that. Whatever your thing is. Okay? You worship Bitcoin or Litecoin, or I'm cool with that too. But understand, the passion of all of us is individual. We're not here to try and make everybody same. And if we can get, I'm gonna guess 100, maybe 250 different coins that we can call or consider worthy of value, we'll have demolished centralization of the digital currency that they even conceive of. They're creating these CBDCs, and that's a whole nother video. And I've already half written that show in my head. And boy, I got some doozies for you that you probably haven't heard of before. That's not what this is about. This show, before I make it too damn long, this show is about everything will be tokenized. And I know if that strikes fear in you, I'm sorry, but that's coming, okay? It doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's like when I hear people tell me all the time, AI is bad. Okay. Is cell phone bad? Because that's an AI, okay? I mean, maybe if it's used for the wrong reasons, I get that. I understand why you would worry about that. But AI is... I was just having a great conversation with my son the other night. I listened to MIT and a lot of the works that they do on blockchain and DAOs and different technologies that are coming our way. And they're brilliant young minds, okay? And I've touched on this before. Over a third of all of the graduating students coming out of MIT are in some form blockchain. And all of them are changing the world that we're going to live in tomorrow. Not the world that the media wants to sell you that is today or yesterday. And not all of it's nefarious. And not all of it's going to encapsulate you, incarcerate you, or put you in tyranny. Quite the opposite, my friend. Okay? The tyranny has been stuck in the one single dollar system. The escape. I mentioned this the other day in a video. The escape from tyranny comes from crypto. Come on, guys, bear with me on that. You have to get that. Like, if you've got 50 of the top coins and are all completely interchangeable through Sushi Swap or whatever swap you like, and it's totally decentralized, and your wallet is not connected to anything the man has or the system controls or manipulates, in particular, that's one of the reasons why I really like proof of work. I mean, if Scam Bankman was a proof of work coin, he wouldn't be able to rip it off. It would be on its own and they wouldn't be able to manipulate it in the same way. I'm not saying it's the perfect system because I do believe in staking. I do believe in all of the systems that we've created. There are going to be fewer coins in the future. But right now, we're at the brink of figuring out which ones you and I want. Not the ones they tell us that we should have, okay? I don't care what the SEC says about XRP. I like it. And I know at least 30 other countries like it. And I know people around the world who like it. And I know that it's fast. I know it's safe. And I know that we're going to build smart contracts on it. And I don't know what you're thinking if you're in crypto and you don't own any XRP. I don't understand what you're thinking. Almost like I don't know how you can only own XRP. Yet that's just as bad. Not bad, it's limiting your growth. It's limiting who we can be. We need coins to do specific different things, because if we only end up with one coin, it's centralization all over again. Now I'm just repeating myself. All right, I got a bunch of notes here I wrote. I hope I can get these out. My camera keeps failing on me. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. It's having a bad day. Everything will be tokenized. It simply will be. So let's think about what that means to the future of trading. 24/7. Why is Wall Street not 24/7? Well, because they have a thing called the plunge protection team. They also have, like we talked about in video number 2, they have futures contracts where they like to manipulate things. Well, it's easier to manipulate things 5 days a week. Oh, this is a bank holiday. They can manipulate prices and commodities around the world a whole lot more efficiently if they can only do it 5 days a week and within their control. Okay? That's going to be 24/7. Everything's going to go blockchain. Everything will be trading 24/7. And they are going to try and get their meat hooks into every single coin and token out there. And they're going to promote the ones that they can control through the people they know they can control, through the ways and means they've been doing it for hundreds of years now. And you know what those are. Again, this is a positive video because I know you guys are in the right place. If I thought you were in the wrong place, I would tell you. But again, it's one man's opinion. But I've been investing for 40 years or more in different things. And I'm good at making mistakes, but I'm really good at not making the same one twice. Okay? So let that sink in to some degree. And I know there's many of you already have a problem with half the videos I've made because you believe something different about a different coin, or good for you. And that's great. But let's remember, we're in this together, guys. You and I, we need each other. I know if you're an XRP guy, you don't like the founder of Cardano. I get that. But you know what? He doesn't control Cardano. I love Cardano. I love the slow, methodical turning of that screw that Cardano is doing to their system. And there's no stopping it. There's no putting the guy in front of the grand jury and saying, well, we're going to hang you if you don't stop Cardano. He can't. You understand that? That's a beautiful thing. Okay? And I believe that the people behind that project and many other, I don't mean to just be bringing up Cardano. There's so many great projects out there that need our support and need your financial support. And the more we use these coins and the more we find need for them, if we can't see what the need is for these coins, I mean, the simple fact that they're just printing trillions of dollars and handing it out to their buddies whose sole purpose is to create bigger weapons and stronger weapons to kill more masses of people faster. I mean, and they just carte blanche print as much of that as they simply want. And that's a monetary system that, like, we live in. And so far it hasn't run completely amok. It's headed there. But I don't know. It could take a decade before, crypto is as freely adopted. I doubt it. I just see, like, my story of the $23 trillion. I mean, like, that's just handed to their buddies and their bankers. And all of that creates sloppiness. And they're fighting at the top. And I mention that a lot. And I know that for a fact. I'm not guessing on that one. I've known people at the top, okay? And that's for many other videos, and probably I'm going to have to go to some other platform. But I know people who are in the highest levels of or previously in the highest levels of banking and government and other things that I've met over the years and worked for over the years. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I don't really want to, this platform, my son and I's platform, is to teach compassion about crypto, health, happiness, and wisdom. And that's what he and I plan on doing. And spiritual growth. And whatever spiritual growth, whatever your belief that what that word means to you, we want to see you thrive in that and prosper with it. Okay, so stable coins are coming. I've mentioned that stable coins are coming in a completely different form. The ones that we currently have will be obliterated first. I can't promise you that. I don't know that for sure, but I've heard from some people that would know that, like, oh yeah, those will be a past memory. They'll be going into something like this or that. And I've done a show about that where I talked about, hey, I think they're going to be bonds one day. Stable coins will be basically the bonds of the future. And it's something I worked on for years, and you probably heard that here first. Okay, here's some of the beautiful things about crypto that a lot of people don't talk about. The retirement funds and like CalPERS and other things and big massive unions, and they're being bailed out right now with these fake digits. Okay, the U.S. president just came out and bailed another union out. It started with banks, and then it became AIG, and then now they're just bailing out working unions. It's just like one after another. It's just showing the hypocrisy of the digits in which they're creating. So if we're going to balance it all back down, to boil it down, and that again goes back to the CBDC video I will be making, but if we're going to boil it all down to fair play again, and debt goes away, and debt jubilee, and Nasera, or whatever your belief is, okay, if we're going to get down to that, we have to start from scratch again, and relief of all debt is one of the ways you would do that. Well, to create that whole new debt system, you need something to build that on, and I believe that will be not just, but one of the big things will be you need to build a new bond market, and how they're going to do that is with stable coins, and retirement funds will be a big part of those stable coins, okay? And also, we could have an economic boom that could last decades simply if mainstream got involved in crypto. This is a huge, big subject. As you all probably in your minds are way ahead of me on that. Like, just the retirement funds alone, if they invested in, I don't mean to bag on gold bugs or anything, but what was it? I just read it the other day. Like Bitcoin's up 22 million times. It's gone. It's doubled, 22 million times, whatever that is, in 14 years. Just imagine if pension funds halfway through that, okay, had adopted, like I suggested 6 years ago, they should get into Bitcoin. Just think about that. Now, Bitcoin is $400, and now all those pension funds would be worth well, I don't know what it is today, 17,500. Think about that. The pension funds are being stolen from, liquidated, drained, churned. If you guys know brokers churn, they churn accounts. It's constant trading for the commission. And it's embarrassing what's happened to most of the funds, and they're all starting to really show signs of stress, and I don't mean to panic anybody, but because I think it's become so obvious that they're going to have to do something within a couple of years, I would say. But anyway, again, they're going to promote the coins that they can control. It's up to you and I in shows like this one to figure out which coins those are. That's not going to be easy, but I'm sure we could figure it out by who's supporting and who's backing it. BlackRock comes to mind. Talked about stable coins, talked about CBDCs. The new black market, okay, they're trying to get rid of cash, and we all know that. The new black market will be the decentralized coins, the ones that the system doesn't like, or the CBDCs. In other words, cash, the future of cash will be decentralized coins that run freely in networks that you and I can trade with no middle party. That'll be the black market of the future. And there's going to be dozens of them, if not hundreds. And that's going to be a fun and interesting world to live in. Remember, just in North America, I think it was like 140, 150 years ago, there were as many as 200 different currencies. All the way up until like 100 years ago. 200 different currencies, depending on which state or territory or region you lived in. So that's going to happen again. And what does that promote? Freedom, decentralization, strength of community and neighborhood, and all those really important things that are really good. Okay, I talked about too much of this stuff already. This was a 4-part series about where I believe what they were afraid of was, number one, so many of you and I becoming very wealthy, and us being the future of voting and the future of change. Number two, we really got down into talking about how they control things with futures markets, and they manipulate them so much. They manipulate our food costs and everything else, and they control inflation through it as best they can. Number three, we talked about how the printing of the money, the fake digits, to manipulate those markets doesn't cost them anything. Even when they lose, they just create more of those digits. So to them, it doesn't mean anything, right? And also, we talked about the $23 trillion recently, about how that was distributed through the banks so that they could create such things in the future. Let's remember, what I didn't mention in that video was that $23 trillion was placed on a short trade, or much of it, and they crushed that trade. That wasn't a losing trade. I mean, Bitcoin, like I said, went from 48,000 down to 16 or 15, I believe it was. That was a very successful trade, right? Very successful. So they turned their 23 trillion into who knows how many trillions. It gets absurd after a while, really, doesn't it? So anyway, so that was part three. Part four was, what do we have to look forward to? What is going well? What's in it for you and I? And that's kind of what I've been talking about for the last 15 minutes. What's in it for us? How does it help us? How do we stay together? Who do we believe in? Who do we trust? What do we like? The only person you can trust is the person in your gut. You. Not what I say on the camera. Not what you read in an article. The only thing you can trust is you. And if it makes you feel good inside, and if you know it's coming from the right place, whether that be source or spirit or whatever you choose to call it, okay? The Holy Spirit, many people have different names for it, but you know when it's real. And when you're living in that, you know what's right for you. That's what we need to get back to. We need to get back what's right for you, and what's right for me, and what's right for Brent, my son, and his friend. Because that's individualism, that's freedom. That's what this world needs, is more freedom. And I think the best and our best hope for all of that, and that any time that anybody of your friends or family tell you, oh, why are you in crypto? Tell them because it offers the best chance for freedom. It simply does. And if you can find something better other than a loaded gun, I suppose you wouldn't be free long with that. But crypto creates freedom. Freedom from tyranny. Freedom from leverage over you. Rules, laws, regulations. You and I are going to be able to transact no matter where you are in the world. That's a beautiful thing. That's something worth fighting for and believing in and understanding. Okay, guys. Number 4, my favorite number, by the way. It's how I feel every day when I think about crypto. I think about you, and I think about what I just said. The future and freedom of mankind. Okay, guys. Hope you guys got something from that. With that, I'm Alan, and I'm out. Oh, one other thing. My name is spelled A-L-L-A-N. Okay? I know it's a tricky one, but it doesn't matter. You can spell it. I like Al, too. Whatever. Whatever you do, just make sure you comment something down there. And we appreciate and love you all. Okay, guys. With that, I am now out. Oh, my God. Were my eyes yellow? Damn, I gotta piss.